What's up, guys? Hey, I was eating in my kitchen. You guys know I'm a nutrition coach, and this is what I do for a living. I was eating in my kitchen, and I was having breakfast, and I was just thinking about a lot of the people I work with and coach. And one of the things that we have a problem with is storing body fat when we eat. How do we not store body fat when we eat? Does that mean not eat fat? Well, that's not true, because you know, if you know me, I do a ketosis diet, a ketogenic diet, a ketonic diet. I'm in keto. I've been doing keto for years, and I eat a high-fat diet. And as you can see, I'm pretty lean. I'm not as lean as I want to be, but I'm pretty lean, and I eat a lot of fat. So we have to worry about and be concerned with the science of timing and how we do it. Back in the day, I used to do a really high carbohydrate diet. But doing that really high carbohydrate diet, which I love my carbs, but it wasn't as good for my blood sugar. I had to keep my fat consumption really low. And if I didn't keep my fat consumption really low, I would pick up the fat. Well, why is that? Well, anytime we consume carbohydrates, they spike our insulin. And when our insulin spikes, it opens up your cells. And when your cells open up, they pull everything out of the bloodstream and they store it inside of the cell. So if you're consuming, say, in America, we want it all, right? So if we're having too many carbs, too much fat, too much protein, this is what America does. We're all in, right? If we're gonna do it, let's go all the way. So if you're having high carbohydrates and you're consuming fat with that meal, and the fat is a little bit too high, the fat is going to get trapped in the cell, and that's called intramyocellular fat. And intramyocellular fat is really hard to get out of the cell, especially if you're in a carbohydrate, if you're primarily fueled with glucose, which is carbohydrates. Now, a lot of times the body has to get through by science, has to get through the glucose in the blood to actually start burning body fat. So how do we eat fat without getting fat? Well, you can eat fat with protein, but you don't really want to have too many carbohydrates with the fat consumption if you're having a higher fat diet. If you consume enough fat with protein, actually the fat can buffer the insulin response on the protein and actually diminish the fat storage or fat gain from that type of meal. But a lot of times people want to add carbohydrates to their meals with fat, like cheese, and say the carbohydrates you're adding to, say, even a salad. You have a healthy salad, you think you're being healthy because you have olive oil in your salad and you have goat cheese, or you have nuts and these things that are high in fat, and then we don't realize then we'll have an apple, a peach, a pear, a banana, which is very high glycemic, which spikes our insulin. So a little tip for you, if you want to stay lean and you don't want to store body fat, eat your carbohydrates with lean protein without really any fat. If you want to if this is a hack for you, it's a free hack for you. I figure I'd throw it out there. I want to help you. Why not, right? And if you want your cheese, your oils, your nuts, your things that have fat in them, just have the fat with protein only and leave the carbohydrates out of the equation. And you can time those at different times of the day. And I can also talk about insulin sensitivity, where your body's insulin sensitive and where your body's insulin resistant. There's different ways that I actually am very insulin sensitive, and I intentionally make myself insulin resistant to actually receive a meal so I don't actually store the body fat. And this is where it gets a little dicey or a little tricky, and I'm always going to throw my plug in there, my soulfitness.me right here, if you want somebody to help you navigate those things. I'm a nutrition coach, and I have other nutrition coaches on staff. I have females as well, if you want to work with a female. They can help you navigate the tricky nutrition components. You'd be surprised how complicated. Oh, and how about fiber? One more tip. Did you know that we have trillions of bacteria inside of our gut biome. And did you know that they eat all different types of fiber? So if for you guys out there buying psyllium husk and thinking you're getting your fiber in and that's completing you, nope. There's so much to learn about this nutrition component. Oh, man, it just blows my mind. And what's crazy is the more you know, the more you figure out you don't know. So just because people take certifications and get certified, I am certified with nutrition, but it doesn't mean nothing. See those things on the wall? Those certifications to me don't mean anything. What means a lot to me is my personal science and my trial and my errors. Because I'm your crash dummy. You actually learn from me from making all the mistakes. True story. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Hit me up. If you're asking me too many questions, I'll tell you. And then I'll say, hey, come do my services. But I'll give you some freebies. Have a great day. Peace. Soulfitness.me or 833-SOULFIT.